Hi, I'm Andrea Kawabata, and I'm an Extension Agent with the University of Hawaii's Cooperative Extension Service. My role is to provide support and outreach to orchard crop growers in West Hawaii and coffee producers statewide. Today, I'll be providing a presentation on Asian Citrus Psyllid. Is this insect a serious threat to citrus trees in Hawaii? The Asian Citrus Psyllid is an important pest of citrus because it is a known vector of citrus greening disease, otherwise known as huanglongbing or HLB. HLB is caused by a bacterial infection in citrus trees. As the disease progresses, the tree leaves turn a mottly yellow, the fruits become small, misshapen, bitter, and unmarketable, and tree health declines. Tree death is common and can occur within a few years. While the Asian Citrus Psyllid is found in Hawaii, citrus greening disease has not yet been found in the state. However, this disease has been found throughout Georgia, Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, and in portions of Alabama, California, Louisiana, South Carolina, and Texas. It is also found in China, Southeast Asia, India, in parts of Africa, Brazil, Mexico, and the Caribbean. The disease can easily be spread with infected propagated materials like budwood, scions, and rootstocks. And while fruit are not known to carry the disease, an infected psyllid transported with the fruit could vector the disease to places like Hawaii. So we must remain vigilant and follow all federal and state quarantine rules and regulations so we can continue to farm citrus without this disease. So if citrus greening is not found in Hawaii, why is the Asian Citrus Psyllid so important? Why should we care about managing this pest? Isn't citrus tristasia virus much more damaging to citrus? CTAHR's publication on CTV says that it causes a quick decline on citrus, is a disease vectored by aphids which can commonly be found on young shoots and leaves, causes fruit to be smaller in size, and if you look at the leaves and stems, you might notice vein clearing and stem pitting. The pub notes that Mexican lime and sweet oranges, like Washington navels, are moderately to severely affected by CTV, but some types of citrus are considered unaffected or asymptomatic, and some, like grapefruit, are only mildly affected by CTV. Now, if citrus like grapefruit, kumquat lemons, Tahitian lime, mandarins, and Kona oranges are considered asymptomatic or unaffected by CTV, what is causing the dieback, a lack of new growth, and small fruit on these trees? And if fertility, water, and location are good for growing citrus, why is this happening? If you aren't seeing other pest issues like scales, aphids, mites, or whiteflies, you might take a close look at new growth on your citrus trees. Circled in red is an adult psyllid, and on the right are young, yellow-colored psyllids or nymphs and their white, waxy-looking honeydew excretions. The Asian Citrus Psyllid is found in the Psyllidae family. The adult is about 1/8 of an inch or about the height of 2/4 stacked. It is a known insect pest mainly because it is a vector of the highly damaging citrus greening disease, which, knock on wood, has not been found in Hawaii. These psyllids have been in Hawaii for about 20 years and were first found on the Big Island in 2006. There are 5 nymph stages, which the initial instar is about 1/4 to 1/3 of a millimeter long, very tiny and difficult to see. They slowly get larger, develop wing pads, and then mature into an adult without needing to pupate. These photos show the eggs on the left and nymphs in the middle, which are highly enlarged. In reality, it can take a hand lens or a video or photo with zoom capabilities to see the young psyllids on citrus shoots. The photo on the left shows 3 adults, dozens of eggs, and various nymph stages. The center photo shows the wax-like honeydew ribbons that are produced when the young feed. And often, ants can be observed protecting and tending the psyllids and receiving honeydew in return. Understanding a pest's life cycle is important for management. An Asian citrus psyllid's lifespan and life cycle is relatively short, but more importantly, reproduction is highly dependent on the availability of young flesh growth in what is called the feather stage and through newly expanded tender leaves. As this type of growth appears on citrus branches, the adult males and females will feed on the shoots. The female feeds to mature her eggs, and one female can lay as many as 800 eggs during her life. The eggs hatch 3 to 4 days after being laid, and the nymphs develop into adults in about 2 weeks. In total, it takes 2 to 3 weeks for an egg to develop into an adult. Adult psyllids can fly and live for about 2 months, though they can live up to 4 months in cooler climates. The emergence of new leaf flush and flower bud growth is extremely important to psyllid laying and feeding, and knowing this can also help to manage this pest. Adult female psyllids lay their eggs on newly developing flower buds and emerging shoots. After hatching, the mobile nymphs feed on the tender flushes and young leaves until they become adults. And even when flushes outgrow the feather stage, adult psyllids can survive by feeding on fully expanded leaves for several months until new flushing occurs and they are able to lay eggs again. These photos show the various stages of flush maturity on Valencia sweet orange, a highly susceptible host of Asian citrus psyllid. Psyllids find feather flushes to be the best for egg laying, nymph feeding, and development to adults. Photos A to F show newly emerging vegetative growth and flushing in this feather stage. And photos A through I include growth that a female psyllid prefers to lay eggs. Asian citrus psyllids are sap-feeding pests. They also inject a toxin while feeding that inhibits the growth of or kills off new shoots. This feeding damage can also cause new leaves to be deformed. Notching of a leaf is often a sign that a psyllid has fed on the leaf as it was maturing. These photos show deformed new flushes, notching on mature leaves, and death of what should have been new growth. Management of Asian citrus psyllids requires monitoring of new foliage growth, as this is necessary to complete their life cycle. Flushing on citrus trees can be triggered by weather, irrigation, and pruning, and can vary by location, variety, plant age, and even plant health and fertility. Major flushing and emergence of new growth occurs in the early spring months, and minor flushes also occur during the summer and fall. Again, it's extremely important to monitor for new growth as they emerge from tips and stems as shown in these photos. This is the type of growth that psyllids seek and when they can be controlled prior to causing major damage. During these times of flushing, psyllids can be controlled with insecticides. The selected products should be labeled for citrus and approved for use in Hawaii by the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity. It is also highly recommended to rotate with at least 2 insecticides in different IRAC groups, or to use products that help to avoid pesticide resistance by the psyllid. Please be sure to read and follow all label directions. Spray the entire tree and all trees within the orchard. Conduct at least 2 insecticide applications to kill missed psyllids and new emerging nymphs. The second application could be needed as soon as 1 to 2 weeks following the first application, but be sure to follow the pesticide label directions. Consider treating other psyllid host trees as well with approved products, or remove them completely from the orchard or surrounding areas. This table provides examples of products that are labeled for use on citrus to manage Asian citrus psyllids in Hawaii. Please note that some products only control adults and nymphs, while other products control psyllid eggs as well. To control the psyllid population, you must kill all life stages of the insect. It is also very important to use proper rates, acquire good spray coverage, which may include the use of adjuvants or surfactants, and to rotate with at least 2 different IRAC groups unless repeated uses are not known to cause pesticide resistance by the particular product. So for example, you don't want to use pyrethrin and pyrethrum products back to back, as they are both in the same 3A IRAC group. Be sure to read through the entire pesticide label, whether an organic or conventional product. Some products do not require the use of a respirator, but a product like 7SL does specify the type of respirator and filter needed when applying the product, as well as handling it. Trees in the Rutaceae family, like citrus, kumquat, Australian fingerlime, wampi, mock orange, and other Mariah species, and curry leaf, can host Asian citrus psyllids. And while psyllids won't necessarily complete their entire life cycle on some of these trees, they are still a potential host for adult psyllids to survive until flushing commences on citrus trees nearby. In a commercial setting, alternate host plants should be treated, removed, or avoided completely from being grown in an area of citrus cultivation. As with many established pests, biocontrol agents help with managing pest populations naturally. The most common biocontrol for Asian citrus psyllids are ladybugs or ladybird beetles. These two species listed are found in Hawaii. And if you've never seen or known what ladybug larvae look like, these photos show examples of the different life stages of a ladybug. Other biological controls of psyllids include generalists like spiders, lacewings, hoverflies, and minute pirate bugs. Tiny stingless wasp parasites also predate on Asian citrus psyllids. Two of these wasp parasitoid species have been found on Oahu, but as of 2014, a document by Janice Matsunaga relayed that these wasps were not found established on other Hawaiian islands. Tamaraxia radiata is considered an effective parasitoid biocontrol of Asian citrus psyllid, and so it was reared and released in Southern California and used in combination with ant control measures to manage psyllids in the region and fight the spread of citrus greening. Biocontrols are often looked at as a long-term management strategy for pests. As wild populations of a target pest increases, biological control populations also increase. And as pest populations decrease, biocontrol populations also decrease. While biocontrols can be helpful, they may not provide a significant enough level of control to reduce the psyllid population and prevent economical damages. So what we see in the field can be a continuous cycle of tree growth and damage. The tree expends energy to grow new shoots. Psyllids come in and damage or kill off the new flush growth. The tree then expends energy again to produce flowers and to support any fruit that develop. The tree drums up energy once again to flush. Remember that this happens at least 3 times a year. Then once again, the psyllids knock back the new growth. The tree tries again to grow new shoots, only for the psyllids to destroy them again, and this happens again and again until the tree finally gives up. Tree death due to Asian citrus psyllid damage can occur gradually or be quite sudden. Long dry periods, a lack of irrigation or fertilization, and other factors can hasten the process of tree decline. Often we see rootstock suckers growing from below the graft as trees are withering away. Pruning the tree and removing dead and dying branches can help, but must be accompanied by fertilization, water, and pesticide applications to control psyllids as they come back to the tree to feed on new flush growth. Trees that are too far gone often don't bounce back even with the greatest amount of care. So here are some of the main takeaways. If your trees are prone to psyllid feeding damage and decline, monitor for the onset of flushing and for psyllid adults and nymphs on this new growth. Flushing may take place 3 more times a year in the early spring, summer, and fall months, so perhaps schedule monitoring sessions just prior to these times. Apply approved pesticides annually and with at least 2 timely applications to kill all life stages of Asian citrus psyllid. Target new psyllid invasions on newly emerging and young feather flush growth. Calculate the proper pesticide rates, spray the entire tree, and obtain good spray coverage. These actions are essential for the effectiveness of the pesticide products and control of the pest. Continue to feed your citrus trees with fertilizers that support root, shoot, foliage, and fruit development. Maintain and improve your tree's health and provide them with the necessary energy to regrow after a psyllid attack. Remove other host plants or manage psyllids on these plants grown in the immediate area. And finally, use pesticides that are easy on biologicals. Rear flowering plants that attract the biological control adults to feed and reproduce and avoid killing their immatures, which can look completely different from the adults. And while this presentation is mainly on Asian Citrus Psyllid, please don't forget to keep an eye out for signs and symptoms of citrus greening. If you are a commercial farmer and suspect this disease or have other issues with your fruit trees, you can contact me by email or phone or drop off a sample in an enclosed bag or Ziploc at our main office. Thank you.